So, I wanted to do something a little different. Um, I've never really tried doing, what's the right term? More of like predictive astrology stuff. I've been seeing somebody for this for years. His name is Tommy. He is awesome. He's like my spiritual guide in a way, or a therapist. And if you'd like his info, please DM me. I'd be happy to give it to you. He was based out of Tampa, and now he's moved up. I think he's in Illinois. Hopefully that's right. But he's awesome. I talk to him every few months. Um, but I eventually knew that I would want to veer into predictive astrology. It's just really, there's a lot to it. And so I just wanted to kind of start off with something here that's really not super, super in depth, very light, and hopefully on point with most of it. So, yeah, let's see where we can go. I have to look at the chart currently. So, right now, the moon just went into Aries. So, this is a great, great time for action. This is really a time to be assertive, and we have to be a little careful with our communication right now because Mercury just went into retrograde, so that's the only thing that's going to hold us back, really. Um, but otherwise, do it. Do the thing. Just go for it. Words may be said that may leave some things to clean up after the fact, but just go for it. Check off your things on your to do list. Go, go, go. It is time. Sagittarius season is revving up, and Jupiter in Sag in the 10th house. It's really great. Well, the chart that I'm looking at right now. But Jupiter in Sagittarius, it's in its natal sign. Big, big, big things are coming, you guys. Great things. It's just how far can we push ourselves coming out of Scorpio season? We're starting to find out. So, yeah, Moon in Aries. Children, very emotional, very needy. If you have some yourself, they'll probably have a moment or two. And then just Aries all around, you're going to be feeling this energy, this kind of ease. It's really going to impact you guys the most right now, and obviously Sag too, because we're moving into their sign. So the fire signs really have got a lot going on coming up. So I'm a Leo, so I really hope that's true. Been working on something for a while. So let's see. Sun is still in Scorpio, 26 degrees. We're almost on the cusp. So I'll do a cusp video maybe in a few days. So I'm really feeling that energy. So I'm really in it. So because I think I'm getting better with the cusp videos. It's so weird because the first one I did was Leo Virgo, and I feel like that was kind of like the least like on point one, and it's my own sign, but it was just kind of like a rough edit. So maybe eventually I'll go back and redo some of them. But as we're moving through the year, I want to keep on the cusps so they don't, a lot of cusp people don't understand what a cusp is, and they feel a little marginalized or not so sure of who or which sign they are. And it's just kind of a little more explanation as to like what we can expect from the combination of two seemingly different forces. Um, and let's see here. So going back to the planets right now. So Venus is finally in Libra, finally out of retrograde. She's doing good. Okay, so relationships, if they have survived, they will be stronger. Um, yes, they will be stronger. Hopefully, you guys resolve whatever came up with that retrograde in Scorpio. We saw a lot of them go by the wayside. Um, if you still haven't resolved something and it's still lingering in your head, do it. Aries Moon, do it. Don't wait. Don't wait anymore, especially ringing in the new year. It's all about beginnings and all that. And it's funny that it falls in the Capricorn season, but I do associate China with Capricorn, and that's they're known for their new year and everything. I think I had a point that I was going to relate. Anyways, um, so do it. Hopefully you're feeling a lot more love by now. It was pretty rough there. Libra season was just not cool this year, not cool. Um, so Sun, Scorpio into Sag, Mercury in retrograde. Let's talk about that. So we all know what this is. It is the most meme-worthy thing about astrology. You can find it anywhere. I think everyone just about knows by now. It's like a household term. Mercury's in retrograde. And what it is just kind of when a planet moves backwards, it's considered as in retrograde. It visibly looks like it's moving backwards. And when they do this, the astrological force of how it inhibits people, um, just like we saw with Venus retrograde, we were resolving issues that have followed us from our past in current relationships or the current relationship we've been in for a long time. There's been something, some issue, some facet that we just haven't dealt with, and it was brought to light in the retrograde because you're kind of like pushing the rewind button. Like say we have a VHS player and you can hear the sound and everything, so it's a little more fulfilling. Um, and it's like we missed a scene or we missed this moment that like somehow was integral to the plot, and now we're like, what? Now we're like, how do we get here, kind of a thing. And so maybe you guys got a notification or something on your phone and it distracted you, and you missed something. um, and that's what retrograde kind of is. Think of it as an opportunity to kind of revisit something that needs to be taken care of. Because no matter how perfect we are, there are always things that we don't resolve, or we just don't do our due diligence in the moment and they're not fully put to bed. We can always look for closure. So, Mercury, it's not as intense as like Venus or some of the other planets because Mercury travels so damn fast. Sometimes you could not resolve it and still be okay because they just keep on going. Gemini, Virgo, they just keep on going. So, um, but when we're looking at it in Sag, the sign of Sag, so Mercury in Sag right now. So this is big stuff. So this is a little more um, on display because everybody knows a Sag in their life. If you don't, you know one when it enters the room because it's just very, very big energy. It's loud. I mean, the people can literally be big, tall, big. They just have that personality, big, big, big. I mean, like you would not notice Zeus amongst the gods. You know what I mean? Like you would probably center focus right on him if you were to visit Olympus or something. I mean, besides the fact that he'd probably be sitting on a throne, but you would notice him first just because he demands that kind of like attention because it's just so compelling. And that's Sag. They, you know, they can be quite the egoist, obviously fire signs, but there's something worthwhile there, like looking, because when you do, it's like when you find the guy and or the girl, and not only are they gorgeous, and they've got like that joie de vivre, and then you also find out that their mind is very elaborate and it's very expansive, not just in connecting socially, but like metaphorically, universally. Like it's big energy. It's super expansive. It's super existential. It's just spiritual, very much so. Um, I can always picture like Sag like in the woods sitting by a fire around like a group of Native American Indians that they just came across, and they're like smoking the things and looking in the smoke and everything. Like it's just that kind of energy. It's just like a cultural amalgam, or a cultural doppelganger. No, that's not the right word either. But somebody that can just seamlessly walk into any group and just mesh with it, meld with it. Um, yeah, they're just super lovable. I mean, we talk about Libra being like the ones that are like that, but it's really the Sag. But the Sag just doesn't stay in one place for too long, so you won't get the constant, like you will with the Libra. Um, I'm getting off track here. So Mercury and Sagittarius. So this is big stuff. I mean, look, I'm sure Donald's gonna say something. Um, because this is like big stuff, news stuff that we'll see, like maybe celebrities, people with Gemini, Sagittarius signs right now, um, being broadcast. So be careful of the things you say. I have noticed, and it has not been um, pleasant because I'm very, very aware of social atmospheres when I'm around people. And like that's part of the empath thing. And people lately have been very, um, not very quiet about like letting their criticisms out and letting their neuroses out, and it'll be really, really interesting because every time someone has said something that's a little bit like spilling the tea, I have noticed someone else comes in at the exact time, and I'm just like, oh my god, they heard that, didn't they? And it's just the weirdest thing, and that's what this is. So really, really be careful of what all you need to say. Take on more of the Sagittarius love vibes, as opposed to the critical um, nature. Yes, they have Aquarius in their third house, so they're very, very sharp. They are very, very on it, on point. Like they can see it. And that's how I think that how they do so well too. Because Aquarius is super intellectual. Because they see in such a different way. It's like you can't one up them because they can see through every set of eyes. Like they themselves are everyone. Like it's really cool. I love being Moon in Aquarius for that reason. Um, but sometimes I get away from my own ego, and then it's like I have to remind myself, like, no, I have to put myself first. But anyways, um, so yes, so just be careful. Um, Car issues for sure. If we're trying to spend a lot of money and get like the nicest car right now, maybe hold off. Maybe wait for after the year. Maybe wait until you get your tax return, something like that. I wouldn't invest really big right now. Those really big, um, yeah, no, I wouldn't. But yeah, just signing contracts, things like that. You could see some phone problems. I know Mercury is technically Gemini communication, so it's more about transportation. But even technology can do its weird thing when we see Gemini in retrograde or Mercury in retrograde. But really, it's all about communication. So be careful what you put out there. Um, because it will reach far just by some way. If it hasn't ever before, it has the opportunity to now, so be careful. Um, but other than that, I think it'll come out before it leaves that sign, and that should be good. So we'll see the tail end of it at least. Saturn is in Capricorn, its natal sign, so that's great. Things are staying consistent. We're working hard. You know, job stuff is going well for everyone. If you made some really big changes in Pluto season, I think now it's stabilizing. Now you can kind of get back to the part where you want to be, or it's getting a little more manageable. Pluto is in Capricorn as well, so if we're still going through some of the job changes, that's okay. Embrace it. It's really good. Now's the time. Like I said, before the new year. That's what Sag is all about, is getting you that extra oomph before we close out the year and start Capricorn season. So Mars in Pisces. Okay, so it finally left Aquarius. They said that that event is like the the last time it'll happen for like 84 years, I think. I may be misquoting something. Oh, I think it's Uranus. Yeah, because Mars moves a lot faster than that. Um, so Mars and Pisces. So what does this look like? Mars and Pisces, because Pisces isn't clear at all. If Aquarius is like the mist, around like the Bay Area. It shrouds things. It makes it look like, you're living on Cloud City. Then Pisces is the depths. It's under the sea. It's where Ariel lives. It's like there's a kraken down there. There's some really scary stuff down there. But there's also beauty in the scary stuff. That's very Piscean. And Mars in Pisces is really unsure of itself, but it can move in a way in which it's like maybe if you surround yourself with people that are very strong, that empathic Pisces nature can emulate some of that, can kind of take on some of that. It's like the rogue of the zodiac. Like when she touches someone, she takes on their abilities. That's kind of like Mars and Pisces, is like the more people that you reach out to that are in a good spot and are working towards good things, you can kind of feed off of that. And not in a harmful way, but you can feel that vibe for yourself. Because coming from Aquarius, Pisces can almost get away from their own emotions too. Because we're at a more universal, now we're at a more subconscious level that isn't even concerned with what's happening in reality. So you get very far away from what is really going on. You know what I mean? Your opposite Virgo, which is kind of like reality, it's like daily life. Um, and Pisces just doesn't do that. Now, the only thing that could counteract that is Neptune in retrograde right now is in your sign. So yes, great, it's in your sign. We're finding that a lot of these planets are in their natal signs right now, which is great stuff. I think that's some big stuff coming. But right now, yours is moving backwards. And so this action-oriented, again, you have to be careful that you are not doing some things that you've been doing time and time again. Yes, you may be taking care of something. You may be putting a band-aid on, what's the term? You know what I mean? It's like you're not really healing it. You're not really resolving it. So that's what we're really looking forward to. Don't just like do the easy little things. Yes, it'll feel a little fulfilling for a second, but in the scheme of things, you really know that there's bigger stuff happening. So your past may be coming back. You guys were doing really good there in the tarot readings for a few months, and I'm interested to see how you do in Sag season. But yeah, just be careful. Don't fall into any bad substance habits right now. We all know that Sag is usually the first one to light up, or definitely has the means to. I, they always have it somehow. And there's a lot of substance issues there, whether it's just literally like food stuff, or it's drinking, or drugs, or pills, or whatever. Similar to you guys almost don't know how to restrict yourself. Sag and Pisces, you don't know how to in that form. I always see Pisces always like do more to their bodies than other people would do, and I don't even know if they're aware of it, but they just have like no kind of like, maybe if Virgo is the centeredness of the body and it's really knowing how your body feels, then the Pisces is the not knowing. And so you just do stuff to almost provoke a reaction maybe to your own body, or like to cause more pain, because there's a lot of hurt there for every Pisces, and maybe that's how they deal with it. I'm getting way far off the point here. But yeah, just be careful. Chiron in retrograde too. It's really close, so it's going to hit you guys pretty close too. Even though this is Sag season, Pisces are going to have a lot on the table with all these planets, like, right there. But yeah, otherwise, North Node retrograde right now, 29 degrees Cancer. So, what we're working on in this lifetime um, is we're having to kind of readdress right now. We're kind of reassessing what are we doing with our lives, and this is a big way. This is stuff that You know, North Node is stuff that's not natal to you. That's your South Node. That's stuff that you can kind of pull out the hat that you already know how to do. It's like riding a bike. Like you can get back on it easily. It's like muscle memory. That's South Node stuff. North Node is the stuff you really struggle with and are making it your focus in this lifetime to get better at. Um, and so right now we're moving back a little bit. We're getting a little bit away, but I think we're just readdressing. We're refocusing our lens on what that goal was. You know what I mean? We're reassessing the situation. If we need to make some adjustments, we can. Um, but that's what that is. Some of these other asteroids I'm really not that well versed on. Lilith in retrograde, God, she is a bitch. She's actually worse. She's a see you next Tuesday, and I get really scared when I see the Lilith, but because I had it impact me, I think it was like a week ago, and it hit me at work, and I was like, what? All these women were just going at me for no reason, and um, yeah, she's a beast. She's an Aquarius. Oh, okay. Well, duh. That's my natural moon, natal moon, but in retrograde. So it's not like an energy that we can take on. It's something that's more so going to happen towards us, or it's like the universe is like pushing us. You know what I mean? Pushing against us. They're in a way just to see what we're made of. We're still closing out Scorpio season, so um, lots of interesting stuff, you guys, but hold on. We've just got a little longer. Finish out the year strong. Sag makes it a lot easier. We go into the holidays, things become a lot more fun, a lot more light. We become a lot more thankful for the year we've had, the opportunities we've had, the people in our lives, and we kind of, again, with North Node and retrograde, we reassess what our next year is or where we're going. So Uranus retrograde Aries. Yes, this is hitting a lot of Aquarius too. Um, and then this is more and more Trump stuff. That's what I see when I see that, because he has a moon in Aries, and um, so something's gonna happen. I know it is, but nothing like bad. I think he's just gonna say more crap than he already has. Um, and also the retrograde is kind of making us feel as a whole like, what are we doing, because he's kind of like the head of, we're looked as the leader of the free world, and he's the head of that, and so like, what kind of message is it sending to the world that no, America can't even do it, you know what I mean? And so right now we're losing faith in humanity in a lot of big ways. You see it on Facebook, you see it on everything. It's like all these different causes hitting us, and we just have this fucking nut in the biggest position of office, and he's just constantly, it's like you don't even want to look at the news because you just know he's already pissed off somebody else. Um, and yeah, so we're getting a little diminished here. Universally, we're just like, well, can we come out of this? And yes, we can. Obviously, he's going to bring out his own demise. We know he will. What, Hitler killed himself, right? Um, Not that they're of the same echelon, but the personality, I think some of it is. Um, he'll do it to himself. Just give him time. We just have to wait it out and show that we can't be squandered. We can't be pushed into this apocalyptic, um, like neurotic mess that some of us are already feeling. Um, we just have to separate ourselves from the stuff that's trying to bring us down, but to unify at the same time. It's an interesting balance. So, I think that's all I'm going to talk about planet-wise. That's all I'm focusing on. Um, yeah. So we'll see where everything ends up. I don't really know. Maybe I'll do another video after Sag season, and like I'll get more into like the tech and like the where the signs are going to be going by the end of the season, and then I can kind of give you guys a little more info. But that's all I have for now. And yeah, I hope this was fun and illuminating. This was like my first like kind of big thing at looking at individual planets. Um, and they're all going to affect each of us differently based on your placements and your signs. So if you want more info like that, please DM me, message me, and I am going to start the Sag season videos very soon here. I'm excited. It's my favorite sign. Well, other than my own, obviously. Well, I don't know. I have a lot of self respect for my signs: Leo, Gemini, Aquarius. I really love it. I love fire and air. Um, but yeah, Sag is usually the one I'm easily attracted to. I think most people are attracted to Sag and like Libras. But there's something about a Sag that I just, can't look away from. So no matter how into themselves they can be, I'm just like, oh, you know. Um, Anywho, hope you guys like this. Let me know any feedback, and yep, bye.